Gracias por recibirme. La primera pregunta que quería hacer es que en Transformers One has combinado lo mejor de la acción de la saga de Transformers con la emoción y la ternura de Bumblebee, pero de una manera completamente original. ¿Qué hizo que te decantaras por este proyecto?
So what made you choose this project where we can see you being able to combine the best action of the Transformers saga with the tenderness of Bumblebee?
Oh wow, thank you. What originally got me excited to do this was kind of three things. The whole thing's on Cybertron, which I thought could be really cool. We've never really seen a whole movie there. And also when Cybertron is pretty cool, it's not dying yet. I love the idea that there was no humans in it, because what that allowed was for all the human and all the human emotion and all the character to go right into the Transformers and to make it just about them. And then on top of that, the idea of this being prequel before they become enemies, before Optimus and Megatron become enemies, and we're seeing that relationship evolve and see it fall apart. I thought that could be very cool to see on screen, and also it would just be the most human story that we could ever tell with Transformers. And then the action, I love the idea of, they're not robots in disguise. They don't need to hide out because they're not on Earth yet. So I wanted to use the transformations as a way to fight as well. So all the fight scenes, pretty much every time they try and fight each other, it's all in the transformations of the body, which I think we've done that more than ever in this film.
Optimus Prime y Megatron eran personajes que ya conocíamos. ¿Lo sentías como un reto el abordar estos personajes que el gran público ya estaba familiarizado y contar su historia de orígenes?
Yeah, so did you feel it was a big challenge telling a coming-of-age story of Optimus Prime and Megatron, which are so well known?
I knew that was going to be the biggest challenge of this film. I grew up watching the Transformers in the 80s, and my cast and crew did as well. They're big fans, and everybody knows Optimus and Megatron, and everybody knows those voices. They're so iconic. And so I knew that was going to be the challenge. It's like, I want the audience to know, or to feel like these are the characters that will eventually become those characters we know and love. And knowing that they are enemies was great, because it kind of played off of that, which I could have the audience, I wanted the audience to enjoy seeing them together as friends at the beginning, because then you would know that it's not going to work. And that's just tragic, but it's fun to watch as an audience member.
Como comentabas, desde los 80 no teníamos una película animada de Transformers. ¿Crees que la animación ofrece una mayor libertad para crear, para inventar, para escritar? ¿Crees que era el arte correcto para contar esta historia?
Do you think animation was the right form to tell a story? As you said, we haven't seen a Transformer since the 80s in the animation form, so do you think it gives you more creative freedom or more excitement somehow?
I absolutely think doing this in animation, I think, was the only way to do it, from a financial standpoint, but also creatively. Like I mentioned, I wanted this to be the most human story that we could tell with these characters, and so having them designed the way that they're designed, being able to see their faces really clearly, it allowed me to direct the animators in a way where we can really get in close and see the characters thinking and feeling, even without the sound on. I always tell the animators, I want this, pretend you turn the sound off on the movie. Even though they're talking, I want to still be able to understand what they're feeling without the dialogue. And also, just being animation, it allows us to exaggerate things. So exaggerating the scale, we can go bigger than it's ever been before. The action could be more intense than it's been before. The sound can be bigger. So Transformers is all about scale and size, and animation gave us a chance to make it feel the way I felt as a kid watching it, like how big it should be.
Tú has participado en dos sagas ya tan importantes como Inside Out, como Toy Story. Ahora Transformers ya pertenece al público, has visto la reacción de la crítica, que ha sido súper positiva, la reacción del público ha sido súper positiva. ¿Has tenido tiempo para reflexionar sobre ello, sobre cómo la crítica, la industria y el público reciben tu trabajo?
Taking into account that you've already been part of two big sagas such as Inside Out and Toy Story, and now Transformers is already out there, and you have seen how well received it has been, both from audience and review. Have you been able to reflect upon how your work is received?
Has that changed my perspective? Is that the question?
Sí, eso cambia la perspectiva.
Sí, lo percibía como el salto de fe que dio al dejar un poco Pixar, Disney de lado, si las críticas y el recibimiento del público es una validación.
Yeah, if you can take it as a validation or confirmation,
Oh.
because you just left us to.
Oh, I see. I hadn't thought about that, but what I do think about is I just want to tell a great story that people respond to and audiences respond to, and so I'm very proud of that. That I've been able to work on some amazing films and with a great crew, and both at Paramount, at Pixar, everywhere, and so at ILM, and so I've been very fortunate and very supportive. Been very supported by a lot of people, and I just enjoy my job a lot.
La animación sigue explorando con valentía un montón de temas. En Transformers One vemos la bondad, la traición, el honor, la dignidad de los oprimidos constantemente presentes en toda la cinta. ¿Crees que los premios, la industria valoran suficientemente la animación más allá de su propia categoría?
So do you think what we've seen, like animation is very brave, and in this case especially, in how you deal with certain topics, like kindness, the dignity of the underdog, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the awards acknowledge enough animation beyond just the animation category?
Great question. Let's see. Think of the right way to answer this. I think that it has definitely, animation has become a major player every year. It gets more and more. There's been more nominations for Best Picture that are animated films. I think that with the technology growing, but also the people realizing they're not just for kids and they're for everybody, it allows us to tell stories that are for everybody and really reflect what's going on in society and in our lives and just what's going on inside of us and emotionally. So I hope that it continues to become as acknowledged as it has been being acknowledged. Yeah.
Si estuviese en tu mano y en los próximos meses Transformers One tenga una importante presencia en la temporada de premios, ¿qué te gustaría en qué se fijaran los académicos? Más allá de mejor película de animación, ¿qué aspecto crees que deberían tener en consideración? Personalmente, por ejemplo, creo que el diseño de producción o la música de Brian Tyler es espectacular. ¿En qué deberían fijarse para nominar a Transformers One?
So, I mean, if it depended on you, what would you like the academics from the awards to appreciate? Because I'm thinking, for example, the production design is amazing. Also, the score, Brian's score is amazing. So, what would you like them to look closely at?
There are elements that you're pointing at. The production design, the editing, the sound, the music. Every element of this film, I was able to work with top people, and they're so talented. But I mean, not just top meaning like they've done this before. This is my production designer, Jason Shire. This is the first film he's ever production designed, and so that alone still blows my mind. I can't believe it, and I just feel so lucky. So I'm excited for everyone to see this film that hasn't seen it yet, but also just for my colleagues to identify and see what really stands out to them.
Y en relación con la temporada de premios, ¿crees que el arte de dirigir animación está también menos reconocida que el arte de dirigir cintas de acción real? ¿Crees que falta todavía representación en esa categoría de mejor director para directores como tú, para el director de Robot Salvaje, por ejemplo, que son dos de las mejores cintas de animación del año?
And for the award season, I was wondering, do you think that the director of an animation film is something that is less acknowledged than real action films? So I'm thinking about you and also about Robert, which is one of the most talked about animation films, as yours.
It is true that an animation director has never been nominated even for an award, not even in the DGA, and that's because I don't know the reason for this, but the DGA doesn't have animation directors in it, so I don't think it will ever happen until the directors acknowledge that animation directors are directors.
¿Y cómo crees que se podría solucionar esto? ¿Falta más presión desde la animación? ¿Hay que hacer un cambio de contexto en la industria entera para valorar la animación como lo que es?
And how do you think this can be done? Do you think maybe you need more lobby or pressure from the animation industry? What do you think we should do in order to change this mindset?
That is the question. I think part of it comes out of initially animation from back in the day. I mean, early Walt Disney, I think, was one of the reasons that animation directors did not join the DGA, is because he created the cartoon, cartoonist guild. So I think animation was kind of born separately for different reasons, and so I think maybe just more education as people realize. If you look at like a Marvel movie, for example, or any kind of big blockbuster, really, recently is mostly animated, and it's just not talked about that way. I use the same exact technology that they use on Star Wars and Avatar, like same people. So it's just I just don't think people realize that yet.
O sea, gran parte del problema viene de que a lo mejor no se entiende cómo trabaja un director de animación, ¿no? Como no es un set como el que conocemos o el que estamos habituados, igual no se entiende esa faceta del director de animación.
Don't you think maybe part of the problem is that people don't actually know how the whole process works? It's not just a normal classical set you can think of, right? Maybe that's.
I think that's definitely part of it. I think that the general public assumes the computer does all the work, and that you just type or press a cool button and then it makes itself. And that's very much the complete opposite of the truth. It's all of these, it's a craft that we work really hard at doing, and also we work really hard at making it look like we didn't make it. I think that's part of it as well. Maybe we're doing our job too well. I mean, we have to design everything on the screen. Nothing is for free, and everything has to be built and shaded and lit. And we do that in a way to go, this is real. We're telling you that this is real, and we don't want you to think about the fact that we're doing all this work behind the scenes as you're making it. But I do think that the rest of the industry should know that.
La película todavía se encuentra en muchas pantallas alrededor del mundo. ¿Qué le dirías a ese espectador indeciso por coger la entrada para que vaya a ver Transformers?
We can still find the film in many theaters, so what would you tell a hesitating viewer so that they can just go and watch it?
It's fun. I've heard a lot of people have come up to me actually and said, I'm not a big Transformers fan. I've never even seen any of the other ones, but I love your movie. And I think, I know that's because that was our intent from the beginning, is I want the audience, even somebody who has no idea what Transformers is, to be able to walk into the theater, watch this movie, and really enjoy it and love it. And that was the challenge. I want that, and I also want the hardcore fans to love it as well. And so that was the big challenge of this film, is making a film for everyone, a Transformers film for everyone. But I'm very happy with that, and I know that I've gotten so much feedback from people that I can tell, I think, are now becoming Transformers fans just having walked into that first screening of it.
Y ya la última pregunta, ¿qué es lo siguiente para Josh COOLEY? Si la industria te da carta blanca, ¿qué deseas hacer a partir de ahora?
So my last question is, what's next for Josh COOLEY? You were given the ability to do anything you want.
Oh my gosh.
What would you do?
Oh, that's, I don't have an answer for that. And I'm kind of just waiting to see what feels right. But I like to leave myself open to to think. I don't want to be like, I have to do this now. You know, I want to be open to things and try something new and just push myself as a storyteller and as a filmmaker. And so I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'm really excited for it.
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.